Okay. Hi everybody. Sorry, I've been speaking for 5 minutes. And I didn't realize that my microphone was off. So sorry if I don't see Gary that's saying, "Hey, you have your volume on." I didn't even notice. Sorry. Okay. Hello, Fadi. Hello, D Love. Hello, Exploring History. Hello, Marius, Gary, Wolfpack Studios. Hello, Charu on Facebook. Okay, I was saying that I'm using a tone canvas with acrylic, and it's orange and blue. Yeah, yeah. I mean, sometimes it's not just about painting, And here I gotta be like a little bit of kind of I don't know how to an expert of these things about computers, and I'm not. And a few times I have forgotten just to turn on my microphone. That was for today. Okay, I'm gonna mention the colors. I got titanium white, cadmium yellow, cadmium orange, permanent red, quinacridone rose, raw umber, cobalt blue, and black. Okay, this is Winton, and this is Rembrandt, and the last one is Winton. Okay, hello, R. Gartman. Okay, and I was explaining. You have seen my videos. I was saying basically what I used to say the same about blocking, starting with straight lines and just trying to think about flat, simple, b-dimensional shapes, nothing three-dimensional. And when I got that from there, I started moving to think about three-dimensionality. But first, it's just trying to copy something. Simplify. The same way that I simplify drawing, I simplify form. I reduce a three-dimensional form to a two-dimensional form. Okay, that means I'm not thinking about depth, just height and width. A little bit of blue, and just here I see blue and I put blue. I see yellow, I put yellow down. Okay, just to keep it as simple as that. Now, raw umber. Keeping my eyes squinted. Hello, Joanne. Shari is asking me. No, this is oil paint. I usually paint with oils, and when I don't paint with oils, I put on the title acrylics. I got some few paintings on my channel, acrylic paintings, and just to not create confusion, I created a new channel where I just paint with acrylics. I don't remember if I put it down on the description box. If I didn't do it, I will. Okay. And I said you'll find a link to this photograph on the description box, and I found this photograph on Pixels. Pixels is a free copyrighted website with a lot of free photographs. That means that you can just pick up this photograph, paint a portrait, and sell it if you want it. Okay, let me see. I'm squinting and trying to see this shape. Okay, and let's say the relationship between this shape and this shape. And as you know, I got the photograph next to my canvas, same size. Okay, in that way, I could do this. I could use the side size method. I could compare the top of the head, the bottom of the chin, the shoulder. the elbow, all of that. Okay. Just 1 second, 1 second. Looking for another. Spreading this color a little bit faster. Okay, now I'm gonna pick up a little bit of linseed oil and I spread it. Feel free to ask me any question about painting. Obviously about paint. Let's see the contrast. Oh, thank you, Intisar. Yes, this raw umber. This is raw umber. Okay, let's move to the face. Okay. Okay, let's see. I got raw umber, a touch of cadmium orange, a touch of permanent red. Just one color. I'm using this color for all the shadows. And then I'm gonna move and add more color. Okay. I gotta adjust, values slowly. Like I see what I painted and I think it's too light. I darken up that and I continue like that. Hello, Fire Lord. Okay. Okay. I was thinking that uh, if I should maybe blend the painting, smooth out the brush strokes a lot, or maybe go for more like a more painterly approach. Not so sure yet what to do. I was thinking if I go with a painterly approach, maybe you could add more color variety, here on this kind of what do you call this? I mean, a fabric. Let's say a fabric. A fabric is when it's thicker. Okay, yeah, I don't remember how to. What's the name of this special cloth? But I could add more. I mean, painterly or thicker brush strokes with more some colorful variations. It could be. Yeah, but at the same time, I love when I blend paintings a lot. Or I try to smooth out all my brush strokes. Not yet. What is gonna work or what I'm gonna do? I mean, about that. Oh, okay. Okay, the mouth is has to be more tilted, like this. The eyes the same, like that. Hello, George Herb. Hello, Brotorius. Hello, GT Punks. Hello, Fernando. I love your technique. Would like to take your painting class. Could you give me more information, please? Hello, Sir T. Sir T. Hello, Maggie. Yeah, about the painting sessions that I got on Patreon. Um, let's say that looks pretty similar to what I do here. The process varies a bit because the intention is obviously to have a more an approach that's gonna be more for somebody that needs to practice. Let's say from the beginning, thinking about always about values because at the end people is trying to get better on drawing, and proportions, even mixing colors, but values, that's something that we're gonna struggle a lot, especially with darker values. The thing is, I got on my Patreon 4 tiers. It starts with $4 per month. We paint Saturdays for a couple of hours. We paint still lifes, landscapes, and then Thursdays we draw. Thursdays nice we draw. Uh, Sundays we paint for 4 to 5 hours a portrait. That's for $100 per month, 4 sessions per month, and access obviously at all of the previous recorded sessions. And I have started this like maybe a little bit more than a couple of years ago, and I love, more than record my videos and just keep them in some kind of library. I love just this interaction with people, and that's why all the videos on my Patreon are just recorded live pen along lessons. And there are more than maybe 200 or maybe more than 300 lessons. Certi is 55, too old to learn painting. I don't think so, but you know, to be honest, I don't think so. But age is just a number, and some people looks like they don't care about that number, and they just feel walk on life just lightly, without any weight on their shoulders. And for some people, looks like the number is that important. It's up 21. Okay. It's up 21, and it's about practice. And what can I say? I mean, I have met some people that they kind of never painted in their life, and then when I started to paint, they kind of realized that they are natural. Yeah, they have a lot of talent. It's kind of if they didn't even start to paint late in their life, they didn't even know about that. They wouldn't even know about that. It's pretty amazing. It's there. The passion is there. The talent is there. They don't know. They just don't know. Okay, and sometimes there's a mistake that some people try to learn to paint, sometimes following like let's say a technique that is applied for a painter that's been painting for 20, 30 years, 40 years, or whatever. And when it's about training, is a bit different. When it's about practicing, training is a bit different. Okay, and I mentioned that because, for example, I remember one of my friends. Okay, that he used to paint like starting with just one corner. Well, let's say just this portion, and in an hour, maybe a couple of hours, he had just this portion perfect, like a photograph, and then he was moving down to the mouth, perfect. It was like the canvas. It was white, and you can see a portion by portion. It was just amazing. Okay, and what you see is somebody just showing off a lot of experience by doing that, but that's not. I wouldn't recommend following that if somebody wants to learn to paint, because I don't know, maybe, and my thinking is not that new, but usually when it's about painting, it's always about relationship between everything on the canvas. When I paint in one eye, or I'm drawing one eye, I'm thinking about the nose, I'm thinking about the other eye. I don't try to finish up one eye. Now, if I want just to, let's say, don't teach and kind of make some, how could you say, stunts, like, like playing a game, if I'm able to do whatever I want with painting, based on my own experience, I would start maybe just with one eye and then move to the other one. But that takes more experience. For example, for me, I don't like to do that. I just always like to keep the basis, the fundamentals. I'm always checking on that. That's the way I learned, just following the basis, and that's what I keep doing, on every painting. always checking proportions, always starting from something flat to create this three-dimensional volumetric form, which is a face. And it's a process, you know. At the same time draw, at the same time when it's about color, thinking about temperature. Imagine the color in space moving from being more grayish to fully saturated to being darker, lighter, from moving to a different direction to a different color, or changing to a different color, and just be able to create some harmony. And if there doesn't exist any harmony to be elicted, I think is the word, on the image, on the painting, you have to create that harmony, you know, kind of embellish what embellish with your own knowledge what you don't see on the photograph or on the model's face. Yeah? Hello, Marius. Hello, Ricardo. Yeah. And yeah, but I don't know if it helps in some way. I got on my Patreon account some people that has started painted with, you know, between his, let's say, 60s. Okay, it's just for them they were postponing this, and it's just that. I mean, you know, you got it in you. You're postponing. Okay, let's see. Need to step back. This blue has to be darker. And I mean, that's it. Maybe the Patreon account is kind of simple, you know. Every session is the same. The difference, obviously, is the approach, and obviously that we all see everybody's paintings, and we got a lot of feedback, and I critique each painting during the process like 4 or 5 times, or even more. Sometimes, you know, everybody's free to ask me for a critique while we painting. In that way, you know, and always pointing out things to improve. Not just one painting, to improve all paintings in general. Because when we improve just not just for one particular painting. There's a kind of misconception when it's about what you want to paint. For example, I remember when a student once, she approached me. She was, you know, I want to learn how to paint a tree. And I was, okay, but you're already learning, you know, during the first year, you're learning the basic forms, like a cylinder, like a sphere. Yeah, but that doesn't help me at all. I want to paint trees. Yeah, but in order to paint trees, you need to first learn the primary form. The way that in order to create green, you need to learn first, you need to know yellow and blue. Mixing both, you got green. Okay, in order to paint a tree, you need to learn that the primary form of that all the trees that you see in nature are cylinders, and on top of that there's texture, volume, you know, and it's twisted, and all the things is crooked, twisted. And she was no. At the end she understood, yeah, that she needed that, because it's not just learning to paint one object. You learn the basics for everything. The basics are just applied to everything. That's why it's kind of boring for some people. I gotta say, when a teacher asks you to paint a sphere, it was, you know. But the primary form is pretty important. It's the base On top of that, we create volume. Then, helps a lot to have an idea about the primary form and how lights move on the surface of a primary form, like a sphere, a cylinder, a cube, a cone. We're gonna step back. Yeah, I kind of like it. Still, this blue has to be darker. What I don't like when I got too much darks on my painting is that there's a lot of glare. Okay, I need some darker value to establish, because I got the lighter values. Looks like there's nothing more light, or maybe a light yellow, but nothing is like a pure white for a highlight. Here, in this case, it's more of a darker, value. Okay, now I know the values on the light. Okay, I gotta make a difference between what is here on the face and here. Okay. Okay. Obviously, the face is the focal point, and the colors here is a little bit mute, in comparison to the color on the face. Now, what about my darker color? The darker color, I think, is here. And since it's the very beginning, and I'm not gonna think about is this darker brown, darker blue, or I'm gonna just pick up black and I put it down here, okay? Because I just need this darker value here. Once I got this darker value, oh, my camera is not focusing. Okay, that's better. Like, wow, my camera is not. 1 second. Okay, that's better. Let me put my hand. Okay, this is black, a little bit more paint. Okay, this is my darker value. Yeah? Could compare from there all the darker values around. No, is the same value anywhere else? All the other values are just that dark. Okay, or there is some like more different values, lighter values. Okay. Okay. Hello, Sylvia. Hello, Das. Hello, John. Okay. Okay. I think everything is darker here, but it's not black. Yeah? I'm gonna use some of this Quinacridone rose with black. Okay, here in this area, that's black. I'm gonna add some blue. Cobalt blue and black. Now I see here on this portion, it looks like purple. I'm gonna mix cobalt blue and Quinacridone rose. I think this is the color, yeah. I heard so many painters speaking about this color, kind of green on rose. They're saying that that's pretty amazing color, and I think it is. Yeah. It looks pretty close to a lizard crimson from Winsor Newton, but I gotta say that it has more like tinting strong. It's just like 1 or 2% more, which is maybe not that much, but you could tell the difference. Okay. Somebody else is painting. The face is kind of small. I'm gonna just be back and forth here trying to get the shape. Mm-hmm. Mixing raw umber with black. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna just knock down this color. Okay, here I have yellow. Simple way to knocking down yellow is just the complementary color. You know, that's the color that you're looking for is the color wheel, is the opposite color of the color wheel. That's the complementary color. That means that would be red and blue. And we got something pretty close to yellow ochre. As we continue adding yellow, blue and red, you know, we got closer to something that is darker, darker, darker. When you mix orange and blue, you get the same, you know, brown. More blue you add, is darker. Okay, this color is better. Once I established values, you know, this what is like, what is shadow. I'll continue moving to thinking about color and thinking that I should darken up this color. I should knock it down. I should make it more saturated. Okay, and based on that, on comparing, I continue, you know, adjusting the color over and over, again and again. It's just a little back and forth. Hello, Sunday Suleiman is saying, thank you. I don't know how to paint with oils, but I painted my first painting with you. Very, very wonderful. I was shocked that I could do it. Yeah. Hello, Jennifer. Thank you. Yeah, that's amazing. Congratulations on those. Just 1 second. Okay, 1 second. Okay, I'm back. Sorry. Okay, I was painting. Okay, now I see, I compare. It looks maybe too bright. Okay, if you like it, let's say in your painting you see it's too bright, but you like it, you can keep it, okay? But you see maybe that you want to get closer to the photograph, you need to adjust it. Okay, just continue with the same, you know. If you got something that's yellowish, you use the opposite color to knock it down. Okay? If, let's say that you want to knock down the color even more, faster, and almost kill the color, I could suggest use black and a touch of red. You know, when you mix yellow with black, you got some greenish color. Okay. Black is a beautiful color to knock down any color when somebody wants to do it really fast, but not. It's not the first suggestion that any teacher is gonna give you. It's gonna be like always. Think about the opposite colors. Think about the complementary colors always, in order to get a darker color that's gonna work for a shadow. I remember one of the first lessons I learned is I was painting an orange, and I was like, the teacher was like, okay, to paint the color of the shadow. Okay, it was like, hey, don't pay attention to the color, don't try to copy the color that you see on the shadow. What you're gonna do is just mix orange and blue, complementary colors, and you're gonna get the color that's closer to the color of the shadow. And it was like, wow, you know. No, but it wasn't perfect, because a shadow or a color, it depends on many conditions, or reflected light, what colors are around the shadow, what colors are around the object. Yeah. But having that knowledge, it puts you pretty close to what we need. Because on the first stages we need to be pretty close to colors and and values. Okay, one second, one second. Okay, let's see. I like this blue, but looks lighter than the photograph. I'm not gonna do anything yet. Let's see if I'm gonna keep it. Okay. Hello, Jacqueline. Uh, Thank you, Sylvia. Hello, Nikki. I'm gonna try a different blue. Maybe phthalo blue is gonna be better. I like what I have here on my painting. It just that looks maybe too bright. But I'm thinking just to keep it. Not so sure now. Sometimes I start with the idea about just copying a photograph, pretty tight, like I love this photograph. I just wanna keep copy, and then I got by accident a different color in some area, and I like it. Okay, ended up keeping the color, like in this case, this blue. Okay. Okay, now let's move to this raw umber. A little bit of permanent red. Little bit of quinacridone rose with raw umber. This color is pretty beautiful. Now I understand why so many painters just recommend this. Quinacridone. Okay. Sorry, we are mispronouncing the name. I went to buy a Lizard Crimson, from Winsor & Newton. And the store, they told me that they didn't have it. But they showed me this color, and I remember that name because I have heard that name so many times, so many years maybe, and I thought like, hey, it's the time to use it and see why everybody loves that color that much. Let's see. The forehead, it looks too yellowish. Okay. I gotta knock down this edge. Gotta make it softer. Okay. Oh, Steve Simper has a bear. A bear. Yeah. That's a bear. Hello, Sharon. Intesar is asking me what difference between lemon yellow, yellow ochre, and cadmium yellow. Yeah, I mean, different color. Yeah, yeah, okay. In terms that why I could use one in the other. For example, I could use lemon yellow mixed with white. Sometimes when I want to add a highlight. Okay, that basically I use it for that, or the other option, that's when I want a really intense green, an accent, and I mix lemon yellow with cerulean blue. Obviously there are more mixtures, but if I want to paint something like yellowish like this color, okay, I wouldn't use lemon yellow because it's transparent. Any kind of this kind of has a kind of bluish tint in it. Now, if I which makes this lemon yellow kind of, let's say, cooler compared to this cadmium yellow. Okay. Now, cadmium yellow I prefer it when I want an intense yellow like this because I apply it thicker and it covers. Okay. Which is so different with lemon yellow, which is pretty transparent. Now, yellow ochre. If you mix cadmium yellow with violet or purple, you get a color that's pretty close to yellow ochre. Some painters just love to have yellow ochre, and that way it's kind of easier just to mix. But it's not because it's a specific color that or a specific pigment that if you don't have it, you're not gonna get the pigment. No, I don't think that's the case. I'm pretty sure it's not the case. Okay, like somebody asked me, hey, I don't have a lizard and crimson. What if I mixed, just cadmium red and touch of blue? Yeah, maybe you can get closer to the lizard and crimson, but it's not gonna have the same qualities, the transparency. It's dark, but it's transparent. Hello, Moses. Yeah. Okay. Hola, Willy. Yeah, tengo un canal en español y este canal en inglés. Ayer justo hice un dibujo en el canal de español. Me buscas con mi mismo nombre, pero no Renzo Art, Renzo Castaneda. Okay, let's see. I'm going to soften some edges here. That's basically the difference between lemon yellow. For me, kind of varies depending on what you want, what you're gonna paint, and the painter. Each painter has some preferences for some colors, and I think it has to do with formation and so many times just that we love a specific color and we use it a lot. It's just that, for example, I got some friends, portrait painters here in my country. Okay, one of my friends, he told me so many times when I was a student, when I'm already a painter, he was recommending to me all the time this color terra verde. Okay, and for him it was like, hey, this color is a must, you need to have it, you're gonna get amazing results with terra verde. I tried and I thought, wow, that's a pretty nice color. I didn't use it I remember having a huge tube. Basically, my tube just get really hard as a rock, and I throw it away. I could try. I could try again. Yeah. But for example, for him until today, he used that. He recommend that. He teach all the students to use the color. Yeah. Okay. And I remember even once I got a student, and he was getting some classes, with me and with him. He teaches in the School of Art, and I was just there at that time teaching on a, let's say, private studio. Yeah, was one of my friend's studio here in Lima, Peru. And I remember the guy told me this, hey, this teacher is asking me for this Terra Verde. What do you think about that? I say, yeah, it's perfect. Use it, because at the end, nobody knows what's gonna work. Maybe he's gonna use this Terra Verde and he's gonna love it. And I'm not one to say, hey, don't use this color, use this one. Use whatever you want. It's painting, If you wanna use more colors, go ahead. Okay, and another friend of mine that he always have this gray paint on his palette. Always gray paint. Okay, that looks like, for me, for my eyes, it looks like just mixing black, ivory black, and titanium white. Just that. And yeah, but for him, it's more than that. He uses that color a lot, and he considers that this color has a lot of qualities. Okay, that's good too. I mean, at the end, we're trying to say that everybody's free to use all the colors you want. And if the funny thing is, if you put my paintings maybe next to my friend's paintings, and more people, you wouldn't say, you wouldn't be able to say, I mean, this guy used this color or the other guy just the other color, unless you see, for example, that the color is there, pure, to the point that you say, hey, I see some Terra Verde there. But when it's about painting a skin, usually we knock down the color to this, not in this case is different, but to a kind of knocking down orangey color. They could be reddish, yellowish, and when you get to that point, you're not able to say that which are the colors used for that. Speaking about Patreon, for example, on Patreon we have painted using orange and blue, orange and raw umber, yellow, red, raw umber, yellow ochre, red and black. Okay, and lately I'm using non-Patreon, but for myself, just cadmium orange and quinacridone rose. Okay, and at the end, for me, I just basically stay using some colors, and then I slowly switch to a different color. Yeah, but usually everything goes around these primary colors. Obviously yellow, red, and blue. For practicing, I would suggest just primary palettes, yellow, blue, and red. Just that. Yeah. And another thing that maybe somebody wants to try is about color wheels. I would tell you, try the Mansor color wheel. He added an extra primary color to his Mansor color wheel. Is if I'm not mistaken, is yellow, red, blue, and green. Somebody correct me, please, if I made a mistake. That's what I remember. I haven't studied the Mansor color wheel. Just speaking for what I have seen, but it wasn't a subject on the School of Art. You know, we always stick to simplicity. That's the thing. Nikki, I want to paint this one too. Oh, that's good. My daughter is getting married at the end of September. Oh, congratulations, Nikki. That's pretty amazing. Okay, okay. That sounds terrific. Mm, yeah. Mm. Hello, Michael. Okay. What is about colors? Okay. I feel like speaking about colors. You know, I remember I mentioned this before. I was painting a still life. I was painting a piece of bread. You know, that was kind of orangey, yellowish, yellow ochre, like that. And I was painting. I couldn't get the color, and the teacher was around. Was said, "Well, this color is not this. It's not okay. You know, it has to be more a different yellow, like." But he was like he didn't see my palette, and what I did, I took my palette knife and took all the paint from my paint and started again. And the teacher was, "Wow, what do you do?" I just want to start it again. Okay, go ahead, start again. And the second try, it was the same color. And the teacher was, "Okay, what's happening here? Show me your palette." And I just got cadmium yellow, and blue and red, basically. And he was, "Where's the lemon yellow?" "I don't have it." "Okay, for this particular object, you need lemon yellow. You cannot get it, the transparency and the color of this without lemon yellow. It's a primary color. Okay, you need at least two yellows: lemon yellow, cadmium yellow, two reds, cadmium red, and a lantern crimson, two blues, cerulean blue and ultramarine blue. Okay, that's what you need. Those are the primary colors. If you want just use one yellow, you know, you're gonna experience the same, but you're gonna get to the color. And he told me, now, if you're so worried about the color, you need lemon yellow. If you don't care about the color that much, you can get away with that with your painting. It's pretty nice. The volume is okay. Yeah, the color is not the same, but if the values are okay, the teacher told me, I think you got a lot. Because when values are okay, you got three dimensionality. You know, you got the volumetric form of this bread or everything you're painting. Yeah, I remember at that time I just got just one yellow, one blue, one red. But it was okay for me. Even though my mom, she is a painter. She doesn't paint anymore, but they say she was a painter. And basically, my first oil paints are the ones that my mom gave me. All tubes. For her, she was like, "Hey, you just need this, no more." And it was like, "Hey, okay, I need some green. I need some, this and that. What about the skin color? I want the skin color." You don't need anything. You need to get all the color from just that. Okay, I was like, "No, I mean, that's not fair." But that's the idea. She told me that's the idea. I mean, you're going to learn. You don't need to get all the colors. You need to create. You need to mix all the other colors. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. The shadow on the nose, I think, is too dark. I mean, it's dark, but maybe I should light up. Okay. Okay. Oh, Nikki saying maybe you should have a particular place for us to post or versions of what you paint us for us on the YouTube lives. And only try once before to paint with you on live. It was hard to keep pace. Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. That's a good idea. I wanna think about that. I'm thinking about that. And then continue thinking about that. Yeah. I mean, for my patrons, that would be easy. We could use the group. We have a private group for patrons. Sorry to mention that. If somebody wants to join, obviously you have to be a patron. Even if a patron of the lower tier, that is $4 per month. Okay, let's see a little bit of light here. What do you think? I should just smooth out everything or go for a more painterly approach? Like, look at not a lot, not like a lot of brush strokes with a lot of paint. Just a bit, like I don't know. You know what happened? That I have seen, let's say, the same pose in some, painted and with some really loose brush strokes. I don't know where or which painter, but pretty sure I have seen something pretty close. I gotta repeat, this photograph, I found this on Pixels. That's a free copyrighted website. Okay. Hello, Butcher from UK, saying hi from UK. Butcher of Blavikin. Yeah. Pixar. Oh, let me check out Pixars. I think is the. I'm gonna write it down here. I think it's like this. Pixars. That's the link on the description box. Is the link. Pixars, like this. Maybe it's Pixels. 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 Yeah. I mispronounced it, but I'm pretty sure it's. I mean, yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, hello, Theodore. Are you using any kind of oils to dry out the paint? Oh no, I just using regular oil paints. Yeah. Maybe you mean those. What's the name? There's an oil paint that dry really fast. I don't remember the name, but this is just regular oil paints. I'm using Rembrandt and Winton from Winsor and Newton. Let me see. Okay. Just 1 second. Okay. I see there is more light here. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Let's see. More light here. Okay, I'm gonna continue speaking about color and my first approach to color theory. Okay, because at the beginning we don't know about, for example, something that was pretty simple is color temperature. Okay, I didn't know about that. I mean, not that much. I have heard something, but like it was like for me, yeah, kind of simple, warm. It's just orange. Cool is just blue. Okay, and then when you apply that, or you try to apply that, that's when it's the problem. And the problem is more than, it's not when you copy, it's when you try to enhance, let's say, the painting, or when the teacher tells you like, hey, you could add more, more saturation here on this area and knock down this area, something like that. Okay. Uh, then you start just facing problems. That was my case. I was pretty comfortable just when I was copying the photograph or the models. No photograph. Sorry, just the model, the still life that was in front of me, or the model's face that was in front of me. Okay. And I think it was part of the training. Always like the teacher saying, "Hey, you need to change this, the fabric that's in the background, just to put us, all of us, into troubles." Okay, because at that moment you didn't know what to do. Once you change one color, you kind of got lost. Okay, and then this when you start just thinking about color theory and how to use that. How should I use, how much? And the first option for me, that was, for example, when I painted a landscape, and I see the light hitting, the sunlight hitting trees, or just the grass, and I tend to make that pretty greenish, almost pretty yellowish with a lot of intensity. Okay, and then for the shadow it looks kind of bluish, a lot of blue. And at some point it was like, wow, it looks pretty nice, you know. But it's trying to put the sky pretty bluish, and all of a sudden all the colors start just pumping around, calling for attention. You didn't know where's the focal point. You know what happened, color everywhere. Okay? And then you start to understand that it's not just about kind of enhance or saturates all the colors, the cool colors and the warm colors. But you gotta move in thinking that, for example, you gotta saturate the color. Maybe the shadow is gonna be cool, but it doesn't mean that's gonna be saturated. You can just get a grayish color. It's gonna look cool compared to a really intense orangey color, and it's gonna work without exaggerating things. Okay, now painting this here, one thing that I see here, but I wanna exaggerate. For example, add more color. Okay, and some yellow and white with a touch of coming up orange here, for example. Okay, but not here, because here's the arm, you know, and that's closer to me, and this is receding. In order to exaggerate that illusion that is receding, that it's not closer to me, the option I have is working with edges. Okay, that means that I'm going to soften all the edges. I'm gonna just lost the edges. Here is up 21. How much you do that? You could be pretty subtle, but definitely I shouldn't suggest to keep the edges sharp if you wanna have exaggerate this illusion of depth. Okay, but if somebody cares more about just definition, just having some sharp edges, you know, that's the photograph is showing all sharp edges. What is beautiful about painting is that we can just change that a little bit, exaggerate, and create illusion that even there is more volume and depth on our paintings. Okay. For example, here, in order to obviously make this pop forward, I have to think about add more saturation. That means make this more yellowish. Okay, and lighter, and keep this a little bit darker, mute, and soft edges. Okay, I could make it lighter here, but keep soft edges. Okay, remember, edges are pretty important, and the same reason that we kind of takes a lot of time to control values, it takes some time to control edges too. Okay. Thinking about the face, I see the shadow on the face. I got the shadow here a little bit lighter. Okay, that wasn't my intention. I want to get closer to the photograph. But what if I use that? I'm mixing orange and red and make the shadow even a bit lighter. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna keep it like that. I don't know if that's gonna work, but definitely it shows some transparency on the shadow. Okay. I gotta continue working and then check out again if I keep that or make it darker again. Okay. Was speaking about colors. Yeah. Just 1 second. I need to pay attention here. I'm trying to remember really hard my materials. I don't remember. It's been so many years. What I remember, is a brand that was pretty famous here. That was like everybody used that brand. It was name it was Phoenix oil paints. They even had their own store. That was pretty nice. It's kind of there is a nice story around the store. because it was like looks like a huge company that it was just using pigments for for fabrics, for like selling in use huge quantities, and they have like this kind of tiny store. And when the owner died, they closed the store just right away. It looks like the only guy that cares about having that store was the owner, but their kids, their daughters and sons, as soon as he died, they closed. And that was pretty nice. I remember people saying that was really, really good oil paints, really nice pigment, and even once, got fooled. But I was in the School of Art at the door, and there was a guy that he was like, "Hey, I got some Phoenix oil paints," and I didn't even thought like, that company has gone for almost 20 years, and I thought, wow, it's amazing. How much? It was like $10 each one, and I was, yeah, I want them all, and I bought like 10 tubes, and I was pretty happy. One of my friends told me, "Do you think that they are, for real? Because it's been so many years." And I was, oh my god. And when I get home, I open the tubes, I put a little bit of paint, and it wasn't the real brand. This guy just put, I don't know where did he find the tubes, and he put inside just a different oil paint. But the thing is that it was that good that I didn't even think more. I just wanted to get those oil paints. A little bit of purple here. When this purple goes up. Okay, have a nice weekend too, Sir T. Thank you, Sylvia. Nice weekend, Broturius 1 and Sharon Week. The thing is, those paintings were so good, and my mom, she still keeps some of her paintings, and she's always kind of proud. She said, "Look at the colors. It's been 20 years. Look at those colors. How bright they look. Those oil paints were so good." And she used to tell me, "What about your paintings? They look like that after 20, 40 years." I don't know. I haven't checked out. What would be the best color to knock down the purple on her face? Yeah, yellow ochre. I always think about the opposite color. Hi to your mom. Thank you, Nikki. Does she watch you paint sometimes? No, never. Uh, Sometimes just she's like, "Hey, the painting is pretty good. It's been so many years, but you've learned. You have learned to paint." She told me that I think a month ago. It was a painting. I don't remember. I painted. I don't remember. Maybe yeah, a month. Maybe a little bit more than a month. But that was, pretty nice, but a little bit discouraging for me. Like just like my mom saying, "Hey, you have learned to paint already." Like, mom, I'm teaching how to paint. I've been painting for years, and now you're saying that I have learned to paint recently. Like, what, about a week ago? Yeah. But she's the old school, that she's just doesn't have any filter. She just say the things that she thinks. So shadow on below the mouth. I need some shadow below the mouth. And then there was a guy here that he started their own oil paints brand, and they were pretty good. You know, uh, the name was something like Kojak, I think. Kojak, yeah, something like that. The thing is that, uh, it was like for me, it was like okay, it's a guy just selling their oil paints, and nothing particular about them. I realized that they were pretty good because I went to New York a few times, and every the 2 3 times that I was there, I used to, I have stayed even once for a year, and I was painting, obviously. Look at this. This is my pinky. Okay. And I used to go to a store in Manhattan. This is Pear Paint store. At that time, that store it had 5 floors. One floor for just stretcher bars, one floor for oil paints, one floor for brushes, and like that. That was pretty amazing. I love to be there in that place, and they have some sales from time to time. And I remember they had a little box with a lot of oil paints, really nice brands that nobody wanted because the tube was kind of broken a little bit, things like that, damaged, damaged a little bit. But for me, it was just perfect. And I used to go look for those sales and buy like 5 tubes, you know. The thing is, one day when I was here after a few years, uh, I saw a little tube, orange. It was cadmium orange, and I used it and I said, "Wow!" It was a tinting power, like really, like wow. It's like I needed a tiny touch just to cover, let's say, a large area on the canvas, and I thought, wow, this is one of the brands that I bought in New York. Pretty sure, you know, pretty sure. And with time, I couldn't read, the name because it was full of oil paint. And one day I was like cleaning my oil paints because they got to the point that sometimes I cannot close the oil paint, and I was cleaning then, and I thought, okay, I'm gonna check out this brand, I'm gonna check out the brand in Google, and I cleaned it, and the brand, it was Kojak. It was this guy that he was making his oil paints, and he was selling the oil paints just to friends, just painter friends. He didn't even got the store, nothing. Mm. Yeah, it was amazing. It got me thinking, about the pigments, about the quality, about all of those things. I'm gonna darken up the face. I light up that area, but kind of like it. But I think I need more shadow. Yeah, let's see. This is what it takes. To light up, to darken up, and again, sometimes you have to do it 2, 3 times and redo it and paint over again. And that's okay. That's okay. That's just part of the process. I need to clean a brush. 1 second. Honey saying, I think she's trying to keep you on your toes. My mother never complimented very often either. Oh man. Yeah. I think you're saying you should start your own brand of paints. You could go to Florence and buy the pure pigment. Yeah. Too much work. Well, that's a pretty nice idea. Thank you, Nikki. Yeah. It could be. Yeah, it could be. Who knows? Okay. Thank you, Nuno Freire. Thank you, Miriam. Thank you, God send Matthias. Look what you're doing, sir. Teaching from the scratch. Thank you. Okay. You're welcome. I'm going to soften the edge here. Too bright. Yeah. There's a studio here that is gonna have some live sessions with models, you know, live model sessions. I'm thinking to go. I don't know if I mean I'm gonna try just to maybe uh, do a short live stream. Let's see, it's up to at the end. It's a studio at, but I don't know. I don't know too much about it. I just saw the ad on Instagram. But it's been a long time since I draw from life. I wanna go to practice. There used to be some live sessions with human figure, but they stopped obviously because of the pandemic. And you can see I love the lighter blue on the purple, and the golden yellow is contrasting too beautifully. She glows. Yeah, that's nice. Yeah. Thank you. The thing is, I hope I can just go and see if I can just do a live stream just there from my cell phone. That would be pretty nice. Obviously, a portrait. A human figure, they don't allow those to have a camera. That's for sure. But for portrait, I think it's okay. Let's see if I can do that next week. I got some few plans, for my other channel, my acrylic channel, to go to paint on some plain air, to paint some landscapes. So many things to do, so many things that I gotta do first before having the time to go out to paint. I got a comment here. Got saying I have a problem with Alla prima technique, and the problem is how to control my colors from mixing too much on the canvas, because I need to blend my colors, but I still need to show separation kind of, but cannot seem to pull it off using this technique. Yeah, yeah. What you're facing is because you need just more experience with oil paints, okay, and you need uh for example, one thing that I do on the Patreon sessions is I use a filter on Photoshop to separate the values on the photograph. The name of the filter is Cutout. It's an artistic filter on Photoshop. What this filter does is separates the values on the photograph, like light, midtones, and shadows. It separates like from 2 to 8 values top. Okay. Now, and what we do on the lessons is paint from that photograph. The first session, there is some time lapses on my channel that it shows that pretty clearly, and from there you paint, let's say, light and shadow. Imagine that the edge is pretty sharp, and then you blend just on the edge. Okay, when you do that and you paint like 6-7 values, after blending you're gonna get some volume already. From there, obviously, you need to continue adding more values, because it's not just about 5, 6, 8 values, okay? But for sure, when you gain more experience, you're gonna realize that this thing that you're experiencing now is part of the process. It's just how the oil paints works, okay? It's just about getting used to that. Understanding that when we paint a la prima, it's not like just mixing on the palette and you just lay down the paint, it stays the same here. No, it's always a lot of mixing on the palette and mixing on the canvas. Every time that I lay down the brush stroke and move it like I'm doing right now, I'm mixing the color that is here on my palette and applying on top of the other color. And by moving this slightly, there's some mixture happening there, and I got a new color that is kind of between all of them, between those two. Okay, it's different if you go for a more painterly approach where you lay down the brush stroke and don't move it. Okay, that would be different. Now I would suggest try both. At the end, oil paint, like anything more, is just about practice. Okay, and when people try oil paints, watercolor, and acrylics, you're gonna listen at the end trying, and no one's obviously understanding the material, oil paints, acrylics, and watercolor. It's just like everybody's gonna say that oil paints are easy to manipulate. Yeah. Okay, and it's just pretty common to hear that. Yeah, what can I say about that? You know, if so many people say that, there has to be a reason for that. Okay, now it's just like when you work with acrylics, when you work with a painting that dries that fast, you learn just basically to mix again and again and again, because the painting is dry on the palette, the painting is dry on the canvas. You just need to repaint again and again. When the painting still stays wet for a long time, like with oil paints, you got the opportunity to retouch again and again and again. Retouch and retouch and retouch. But with the retouching, the painting is moving, always moving. And this basically affects the drawing a lot. And when we are not used to that, we got new colors, you know, every time that we add more paint, new colors. So, for example, I can pick up a tiny bit of pure red. My intention is not have this pure red stays on the face. I put it down here and I move my brush, and what I'm doing here, I'm mixing. And now I got a reddish cheek. That was my intention. Okay, I didn't mix the color here and put it on top. I pick up pure red and mix it here. I can pick up pure quinacridone rose and put it here. Okay, and that's gonna work as a dark color because this is dark. If you translate this quinacridone rose to black and white, it's dark. It's a dark gray. Okay, and it's kind of the same, you know, you put down a color, it's gonna get mixed. You need to get used to that first, and when you got used to that, you need to start controlling more and more the mixtures. Oh, Joanne saying absolutely beautiful. Okay, thank you, George. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna work on the mouth, and I see it a little bit bigger on the screen now. Okay, it's not big enough, but that helps a bit. Okay. I need to soften this edge here on the nose. Okay, another thing that helps me with the illusion of depth. You see this edge here? You see it's pretty sharp. I didn't mention about softening that edge. Okay, that makes a difference. You know, the edge here on the hand, let's say that's sharp, but it's not as sharp as this edge. And obviously not this one too. This one is kind of lost. The intention is just illusion, create illusion of depth. Remember, okay, this thing is closer, then the next thing is the arm, and then the next thing is the veer. That's going, you know, far, far away. I mean, not that far away, but that's the idea, you know, create this kind of separation between the things that we want to just create illusion that's are coming, are pumping forward, and things are just receding. Okay, and that works when we use edges and values. And again, a lot of back and forth, because for example, for me here, I got that this is lighter than this, but I can push that a little bit more by adding more paint, more yellow. Okay. I can mix this yellow with a touch of white. Get an accent there. If this accent is too much, you gotta repaint that again. Okay, we gotta get used to that. It's just that, I mean, there's no other way to do it. Okay, a little bit of blue. I think I added too much here. Yeah, 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 too much here. Didn't even notice. I gotta cut this like here. Okay. Okay. Don't forget to press the like button, please. And if somebody wants to support my channel a little bit more, there's a there's an option to become a member of my channel where you got access to some recorded lessons that I just posted from Patreon here on YouTube. And obviously the other option is going to Patreon. I like pressing the like button is gonna be enough. Okay, let me check out the time. 2 hours 20 minutes. I think that's pretty good for what I want. I need to soften some edges here. To become a member of my channel, you just click the button that says join on YouTube next to subscriber, next to subscription. Okay. Now here. Going back and forth, trying to get a soft edge. The same here. Okay, I think I got a problem here with the drawing. Yeah, I gotta reduce this. I gotta narrow here. Okay, now here, trying to soften this edge. I'm gonna keep here the chin sharp. Here the same, a little bit soft. Okay. What about the blue on the nose? If the blue is hitting here, the hair, the nose. We should see some blue here too. Becoming greenish. Everything is wet. I'm gonna just leave it there, like that. Oh, Gary, you're saying just that little touch lighter around her hair made a great difference. Oh, okay, okay, yeah, yeah. Thank you. Okay, good night, George. Nikki saying this one is amazing. Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Okay, I think. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I don't. I mean, I'm just trying to see what else I can retouch. About the background, I need more paint, but that's gonna be just for, just working here on my studio, and I got more space on my canvas, like 1 inch more. I'm gonna paint that. Let me use the colors I have here on the palette. Yeah, but for sure I need thicker paint for the background. Okay, because it's too thin. Yeah. I got pure black here. Okay, I think that's it for today. Okay, let's see. Oh, Nikki's asking me ivory black or Mars. This is lamp black. I'm using lamp AMP. Okay, that's it for today. Thank you everybody for being here. I hope you all enjoyed and learned something new. You're free to ask me any question. Okay. Okay, that was a pretty nice session. I like it. The only color that I want to add maybe a glaze after it dries is this blue. I just the blue there is different. No, I got cobalt blue. I don't think I could get that with cobalt or ultramarine. I got phthalo blue here. Yeah, I should have tried to use phthalo blue. But anyway, I'm happy with the result. Yeah. Yeah, Nikki, it's like all the blacks has a little bit of bluish tint. Yeah, all the blacks. One more than others. I think even ivory black has more bluish tint than lamp black. Yeah, lamp black. But then when you're mixing, you notice that's bluish. You know, the difference is pretty subtle. But it's, to get a neutral gray, I usually add a touch of orange, or it could be a touch of burnt sienna, and then I got a neutral gray, something that is not, cool like bluish, and obviously not oranges. Pretty neutral. Okay. Thank you so much, everybody. Take care. Your see, we saying some painter thinks that the web should use pure black. What do you think? That we should use pure black. That we shouldn't, or we should. Maybe we shouldn't. Usually, I mean, painters think that we shouldn't use pure black. I have a doubt here about your question, Sylvia. Yeah, but definitely some painters just think that we could use pure black to represent something dark. But even with pure black, we don't represent something that in nature is dark. But in nature is the absence of light. Like imagine a cave, no light at all. There's no way to get to that black, with any black paint. Exists one black paint that is usually that absorbs all the light 100%, but they don't use it for artistic purposes. But the thing is, how do you represent that shadow, the absence of light? Here, this is a flat surface. It's getting light. If I put this area that got pure black next to a cave that is for sure black, maybe we could tell the difference that this is not black. Now some painters prefer don't use black. Mix maybe raw umber and Lizard crimson, or blue and raw umber, and that's perfectly okay. Yeah, everything works. At the end, the darker color that you got when you mix, for example, raw umber and ultramarine blue looks black. Nobody's gonna tell the difference. Yeah. What I do to get a chromatic black, and I do that so many times, I add a touch of a lizard crimson to the black, a touch. And even after adding that touch, I couldn't even tell that there is some color there. But for sure, there are things that we cannot tell. That maybe we don't see before naked eyes, but it doesn't mean those things are not there. And I love to add always a touch, color. Everything works. I mean, at the end, it's up to anyone. Just use black or no black. That's okay. I'm not gonna say that you shouldn't or you should. No, it's up to anyone. Yep. Okay. Thank you so much, everybody. Now, see you all next week. Take care. Bye.